Funding for This Is Nashville comes from you, our listeners, and Music City Prep Clinic, Nashville-based provider for PrEP and offering comprehensive sexual health services in an environment designed to be safe, professional, and shame-free. Learn more at musiccityprep.org.
I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. We had nearly half of Davidson County without power yesterday across the state of Tennessee. 300,000 folks, unprecedented according to our utility officials. According to Nashville Electric Service, you had about 175,000 customers here, still waiting for lights to come back on as we speak. That includes my house. How about you, Justin Barney?
That includes my house.
All right, listen, we're in the dark and the cold right along with you, which is a lot of what we're going to talk about today. We're kind of, we're calling it This Is Nashville on Ice, but it's really not that lighthearted, because if you're sitting in your living room and looking at a meat thermometer, as my family is, and realizing that it's getting down to 45 degrees inside.
Dropping.
It's not a place you want to be. We're taking calls all hour, and we're going to start this hour really kind of marveling at this weekend of weather that we've had. And we'd love your, tree snapping stories, your, have you seen the videos, or maybe you saw it live with your own eyes, of these iced down tree limbs hanging on power lines?
Oh, yeah, I've seen a lot of them.
I don't even know really what to call that
phenomenon.
That phenomenon, but we're here to talk about it. The number is 615-760-2000. We're here, even if it's just to distract you from how cold it's getting. 615-760-2000 is the number, all hour. Justin, you made the rounds this morning. What'd you see?
I did make the rounds this morning. I think that today feels different than yesterday. For me, yesterday was scary. And I'm not like, I am the kind, I'm from Wisconsin, and I'm just kind of like, I'll deal with whatever, like nothing really phases me. And yesterday I woke up, I had no power.
East Nashville,
I had no heat. And then the really kind of scary thing is up in East Nashville and Inglewood, all the trees started going down.
Yeah.
The trees, they just cannot handle it.
I know.
They cannot handle.
What did you hear?
Well, it started off, it was just cracking all around. It was like cracking and sirens. That's it. There was nobody out. Like, there's nobody out on the roads. There's nothing. It's just cracking and sirens. And so it got pretty hairy. And so I did have a coworker who was like, it's now or never to come into the station. It's like, it's going to turn into an ice rink, and then we're going to be stuck. And so yesterday felt scary, but so this morning I woke up in the station, stuck in the green room.
Nina Cardona sleeping
Nina
over.
Cardona.
Yes, Nina Cardona, who I'm looking at through the glass, who's also, not only was she here all day yesterday to bring you news updates through the Sunday, but here overnight so she could wake you up this morning with the latest, and running the board for This Is Nashville, and maybe on this afternoon?
That's the plan. That's the plan. I mean, if you're going to come in and stay the night, just do it all, right? I mean, there's no normalcy, so I'll just do it.
Mia in Slack this morning said, I'm hosting Morning Edition, I'm hosting All Things Considered, and I need a break in the afternoon, and then volunteered to run the board right now.
There's time after this show.
We want to hear your stories about trees, because, I live south of town, and the cracking was everywhere, Justin.
I was going to say, but this morning felt different.
Yeah.
And, I think it's sunny, which is nice.
It helps.
And I think it did feel yesterday with the rain and then the freeze immediately. It just kind of felt like, things were scary and trees were falling. I mean, we saw, 600 trees down.
It's got to be more than that, because they reported that yesterday early.
70 broken poles yesterday. But this morning felt a little different. I talked to Sean Smith, so I walked over to, there's a couple, we're in Metro Center here. There's a couple of grocery stores and gas stations. I was driving here yesterday. I was like, everything's closed, but the gas stations are open. I'm like, man, these gas station employees, warriors out here. And so I stopped in the, in the Z Mart, and I stopped at the at the corner market here. I talked to Sean Smith, who moved here from Michigan 2 weeks ago, and I caught him as he was pumping gas. We want to play a little clip of me talking to Sean Smith.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm freezing.
What's your plan for today?
Go in the house, I don't got power.
You don't got power?
Nope.
What's the temperature right now?
In my house?
Yeah.
Probably about 40, 20, maybe, I don't know. I had to get out of there and get in my car and get some heat.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? What's the plan?
Oh, nothing. Just try to stay warm until they cut the heat back on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just moved here 2 weeks ago from Michigan. Freezing. Yeah, I just moved here 2 weeks ago, and this is what happened at my new house.
Oh my God. It might take a couple of days. Like, are you ready for that? Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not ready. I'm going to have to get a hotel. I was thinking about getting a hotel room today.
Yeah, I know a lot of
So
people
I
do
don't
that.
know. Yeah, that's my next plan. If they don't cut it on today, I'm probably going to get a hotel room.
Yeah. Okay, dude. Stay warm. I think that was right there. I mean, moving from Michigan and then going to the snowstorm. Classic. Just an absolute classic bit.
This morning, I woke up and I had been asked by a commercial radio station in Toronto to come on. And they had just had 25 inches of snow, but wanted to hear about what was going on down here. Isn't that sweet?
They're like, hey, I heard you guys are having a tough time.
Well, they did seem empathetic.
I think with Sean there, I heard what I heard a lot of yesterday, which was, okay, you're bearing through the storm, and then, okay, what's plan B? Which kind of like was my thing too. It's like, okay, I can deal with no power for a couple of hours, and I'm no shortage to power outages in East Nashville. But when it hits that overnight, when it hits that extra day, what do you do then? And we heard, and Sean, he was looking into a hotel.
Yeah.
I talked to my neighbor yesterday who's also looked into a hotel. So that seems to be a move right now, but I can't imagine it's a very, I imagine they're probably booking up quick.
Well, booking up quick, I've heard mixed reports from people I know who've had good luck getting a hotel room and for an inexpensive rate, which I was shocked to see. If you've had luck getting in a hotel, we'd love to hear from you. Maybe you can share your tricks. The number is 615-760-2000. We're going to go to the phones. Kurt in Brentwood, you're on This Is Nashville. Go ahead.
I have a suggestion for either the city fathers or the people who control the media in Nashville. When the power goes out for an extended period of time, we cannot access TV. We cannot access the computer because Wi-Fi goes down. We're relying only on the cell phone network, and right now it is sketchy.
Yeah.
I think, and I've thought about this many times with tornado outages and this kind of outage as well. There needs to be a means to use radio, the old-fashioned radio, which has, anybody can have a battery-powered portable radio sitting by them just like I do right now. So that's the only thing you can access when the power is down. The TV people, I talked to Channel 5 yesterday, they say they cannot broadcast on radio frequencies. But somehow there needs to be a way. And I would think that the wise, people who can figure these things out could figure out a way for maybe on an hourly basis or something for a radio station or cooperating radio stations or even TV stations in cooperation with radio stations to let the people know via a broadcast what's going on, what the damage is, what the prognosis is. Because right now, except for TV and your station, I'm in the dark.
Yeah. Well, I promise we didn't plant Kurt to call in just to make a big plug for radio, even though he did call it old-fashioned. But Kurt, thank you so much for the call. And yeah, I looked around today and realized that in this moment, I've gotten so dependent on the smart speaker that I don't have an old-school radio, at least ready to go. There's some in the house, but they weren't ready.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you need
I
need
have
batteries.
another radio,
Yep.
old-fashioned type, with National Weather Service sends out the beep and alerts you to a tornado or whatever. But that is the only radio system that I'm aware of in this area. I was in Memphis for 30 years, same thing there. When the power goes out like this, if you depend on TV,
Mm-hmm.
you're out of luck. And the same thing with Wi-Fi because, that goes down.
Yeah,
So
well, Kurt, we're feeling it
think
on the
it's something
Wi-Fi
that
and the
needs to
cell
be
phone.
addressed.
Yeah, people are, no matter what carrier you've got, it seems like everybody's dealing with a little bit related to the their cell phone signal going in and out. Kurt, thank you for the call. Join us on air. Would love to hear your experience over the last couple of days. We're going to get a fresh report from Catherine Sweeney, a WPLN health reporter who is covering the city's press conference to get the latest. So stay tuned for that. We'll get to that in about 5 minutes, but taking a few more phone calls in the meantime. We've got Parker in Green Hills. Parker in Green Hills, you're on. This is Nashville. Go ahead.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Wow, I'm surprised I'm getting this phone call out. We have no connectivity, basically, in Green Hills. Power's been out since early morning yesterday. Wi-Fi is not working either because we don't have power. So I'm using a Toyota Sienna to run the AC inverter to get a space heater and a couple of widgets in the house turned on. But
sounds like a minivan that's idling outside my house right now. So I'm right there with you, Parker.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we got two young kids in here. We did the camping together thing in the main bedroom last night with the dog under the sheets too.
Yeah.
And it's scary, man. Like I feel like we're okay, but I have no idea of knowing if when it's dangerous and at what point we should try to get a hotel. But like I don't even know how to make that decision with no connectivity here in Green Hills. We got trees bending over backwards. I got one tree out in front of my house that's split down the middle, kind of like the new Gen Z mid hair part. Exactly like
wow,
that.
A lot of shade on Gen Z there, Parker. It's
well, Parker, you're not
they're trying to claim it from us, not like we had it millennials back in the day.
That's so funny.
Didn't come up with it.
Well, Parker, appreciate the comment, and I'm right there with you on like what to do. Because I don't know, I mean, there's no power line that is connected to my house anymore. And I saw something that Nashville Electric Service just put out that's like, basically, before we can hook up anything, you've got to do your part and make sure the line is good to go for us into your house. So,
I was looking for the power line the other day. I have no idea where it comes into my house. I think it's from the ground. We are in Green Hills.
Yeah. Well, Parker, your cell phone signal is sort of making the point here, and go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, Parker, you're not alone to let you know what else is going on in the city. I mean, you can feel so isolated out there, not knowing. Yesterday, we had 300,000 people throughout the state who lost power, many losing heat. Just over 230 in Nashville yesterday. Right as of right now, it's 176. So that's whatever that math is. I can't do that. 500,000 people did get
almost 50%.
Yeah. So a lot of people did get power yesterday. It went from 230 to now 176,000 people are without power, and so I think that's going down.
Yeah, things are getting better, but it is
all the line crew who are doing a bang up job. They're doing an amazing job. I know they are.
And they are working 24/7. They, we got the email saying that they're out there doing it.
Even as the trees are still, some of them coming down. So big thanks to the line crews. Parker, thanks for the call and the commentary on the trees. Let's take another phone call. I'm worried that I may know this guy. Is this Theatry from West Memphis?
Hey, yes, it is.
Well, good to hear from you. How did you all fare there in West Memphis? You're on the show on This Is Nashville.
Oh, thanks. Here, everything went just as well as it could be. I mean, no one lights was out or any of that. There's a lot of snow everywhere. A lot of snow with no branches falling and none of that. But the roads, they are not drivable. You cannot get out there on the roads or anything, like going across the bridge into Memphis, Tennessee, where it's really, 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 really bad at. It's real bad there. The lights are out. They have trees everywhere, all the way to South Haven, Mississippi, all up in Oxford, Mississippi. I mean, it's really bad, and it's bad in Cleveland, Mississippi, where my mother and the rest of my family is from.
Yeah, I saw the power outages in Mississippi were not as many as in Tennessee, but quite a few. So I know that we're going to hear some stories out of Memphis. But you're saying your family in Cleveland, Mississippi, do they have power?
Yes, it just came back on, but it been out for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of trees are down now. The ice has gotten heavy on the limbs or whatever, and have a light poles down or whatever.
Well, Theatre used to be here in Nashville, is now in West Memphis. Thanks for the report from West Tennessee, and first time on This Is Nashville. Appreciate the call.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Catherine Sweeney is going to be here with a fresh update from the city leaders about the city and the region's response to ice like we haven't seen in probably 30 years or more here in Middle Tennessee. Stay with us. This is Nashville on Ice.
Funding for This Is Nashville comes from Beckham Complete Health, a membership-based primary care model focusing on personalized care, disease prevention, and wellness. More at mdvip.com/Michael Beckham MD. Funding for This Is Nashville comes from Blair School of Music, presenting an evening of classical guitar with Brazilian brothers Sergio and Odair Assad, duo Assad, Thursday, February 19th in Ingram Hall. Tickets available at blairtickets.com.
I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. We are live today talking about this ice and how we're recovering, but also what we've already been through. Justin Barney in the studio with me, who, he's not the only one, but has been sleeping at the station. Is one night enough to have been sleeping in the station? We can say that.
That's enough. That's
we
enough.
do have showers here at our Metro Center studios, which is beautiful. We're taking your phone calls this hour, and in large part, we want to hear what you've seen and experienced. Had trouble getting a hotel? We want to hear about it. Looking for someplace warm to be? We're all ears. If you've got a warm place to offer, we could imagine churches opening up for folks beyond the community centers that are hosting folks. We'd love to hear that on the air. At the end of the hour, we're going to do a little shout out, some neighbors helping neighbors shout outs. So stay tuned for that. The number is 615-760-2000. And we're going to get rolling with Catherine Sweeney on the line, reporter in our newsroom. Catherine, you there? It would have helped if I had hit the button where you can come on. Catherine, you there?
I am here. How's it going?
We're doing all right. Justin, you all right?
Staying warm.
Listen, it's a
warmer
different
than our houses.
we're in a place that has heat, so we're kind of happier than we used to be. I also have my electronics plugged in, so that's a big win. Catherine, you were just wrapping up a press conference. I believe it was with Mayor Freddie O'Connell and others. What are the big takeaways for now?
I would say the big takeaways are they're warning that this is not a one-day problem. They're saying you guys need to settle in. At the end of the press conference, Freddie was saying this is not something anybody should expect we'll have done by sunset tonight or the time we wake up tomorrow. He said getting everybody's power back on and getting things back to normal is probably going to take the whole week.
Yeah, I was worried about that week word.
It's not what I wanted to hear.
But not surprised. A few of those numbers that we have seen already, and Catherine, these may have come from you, but that 30 stayed overnight in the Southeast Community Center, so Antioch area, 25 in the Madison Community Center, 50 at the fairgrounds. Now, we know that the city, something that nobody in our newsroom, who many have decades of experience, had ever heard of happening before, but that the fire halls and most of the police precincts were open as basically emergency warming shelters. Justin, you went to one of those today. What did you see?
I walked over to the North Police Precinct this morning expecting there to be a bunch of people there, and it was completely empty. It was 9 a.m. and but it was a warm place. There was, it was available, and I wondered why nobody was there. Maybe word just hasn't gotten out, or maybe other people had found other things, but the auditorium was open at the North Police Precinct, but nobody was there. There's not even anybody working there. It wasn't like there was somebody at the front desk being like, this is what you can do or what you can't do. I mean, it was just a warm room. I mean, it was the auditorium. There was chairs in there. There was tables in there. But nobody was using it at the time.
Yeah, if you've had experience, listeners, with going to one of the fire halls or the or the police precincts, let us know, 615-760-2000. Or if you have a warm place that you're opening up for folks in this emergent situation, we'd love to hear that on air too. Catherine, any update on those shelter situations?
Yeah, I mean, they were just saying, like, please come. Police Chief John Drake was saying a lot of people probably braved it last night after losing power early in the morning, but there's no guarantee that it's going to be, again, a one-night thing. So he says that there is so much room at all of these facilities, especially the fairgrounds. He was saying that's 45,000 square feet. They have the Red Cross there. They have cots and food. So don't be shy about going.
And the fire departments, all the fire departments are open, and the police precincts, a couple of them are open. And the one I went to North Police Precinct. They do not have cots. They are not set up to be like overnight stations.
They even discourage people from bringing overnight stuff.
Yeah, but the other ones do. The community centers, the Southeast Regional Community Center, Madison Community Center, and the fairgrounds, they all said they have cots in the fairgrounds. They got the Red Cross there. So if you do need a warm place to sleep, those places are set up for it.
Yeah, Catherine, stay on the line with us if you will. And if you listening have experienced kind of looking for a warm place to be as we're looking at potentially days here without heat, let us know what you're finding. 615-760-2000 is the number. We'll take a call. Adrian in South Nashville, you're on This Is Nashville. Go ahead.
Hi. First time calling, and appreciate what you guys are doing. So all we have is this little AA powered radio, but I just
listen, a lot of people are big props for the battery powered radio today. Yeah, go ahead, Adrian.
Oh, no, I just wanted to call in, learning a lot about how to keep my fish tank warm and, something you might not consider, but filling up water bottles with hot water has been, and like cycling those and kind of floating them in there and hoping that he's good in there. Everything has kind of gone to taking care of the pets and trying to see if we're going to be able to even go another night, but we're just grateful for running water and hot water at that for now. And as long as everything stays the way it is, I think we should be able to turn this into more of a memory than something catastrophic, I guess.
Yeah. So what's your situation with power? You don't have power, but any hopes that it might be coming back, or there are lines on the ground?
Well, luckily, my family. No, I mean we have hopes. My family has been all around Nashville. They've all slowly come one after another. They've gotten power back up, and so we're crossing our fingers that we're just somewhere next in line. But as you know, things aren't necessarily getting too much easier for them out there. There's a lot of stuff that they have to clean up and figure out. Just what they can do as far as the linemen that are working, basically 24 hours at this point. And right now we're just holding on tight, I guess, checking in on our neighbors, giving them a little wave, just standing out there, making sure that they know that, they can reach out if for whatever reason they're not sure what to do. And it's always really good to just send in a text and ask how you're doing, how you're holding up, with a joke or something.
No time like this present moment that we're in for a joke. Adrian, thanks for that. Calling in from South Nashville. Appreciate the call. This is Nashville. I'm Blake Farmer in the studio with Justin Barney, and we're taking your calls and reports from around Middle Tennessee on what you're seeing, whether that's power reports, trees snapping, places that you need. Good luck, bad luck finding a warm place to be. Robert in Inglewood, we'll go to you. You're on This Is Nashville. Go ahead. Well, you might have been on, but I don't have you right there. Catherine Sweeney, are you still with us?
I am still with you.
So what did we hear from the mayor today besides it's going to take a while? What, is there a thought on, how we should be moving around, if we should be trying to get around at all besides on foot?
Yeah, so I think one concern that I've heard in the newsroom is maybe people aren't using these shelters because they don't have a way to get there. We've been hearing stay off the roads, the ice is scary. But during this briefing, Freddie said that we know not everyone can drive, but they're working on a way to get people transportation to these shelters if they need them. So they're working on setting up a call line. They said that they're going to have more information about that this afternoon.
So in other words, that maybe you could almost order a ride to get to one of these warming shelters?
Right.
Yeah. Anything else about the roads and updates? We've seen a few things, including an incident on an interstate that looks like it might have things slowed down. But any major wrecks that seem to be problematic at the moment?
Not that I heard of. And one of the reporters in the briefing asked about hospital capacity and whether there have been a lot of emergencies reported to the hospitals. And the emergency services director said, there's always emergencies, there's always car wrecks, but we're not seeing a huge surge the way that you might expect. So there have been some wrecks, and those have been reported to the police, but it hasn't been, a pileup or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, Catherine, thank you for that. And we appreciate your reporting and really everything that comes from the WPLN newsroom. When an emergency happens, even if we're sort of experiencing it somewhat personally, we kind of get into work mode. And, there's good and bad with that. Justin Barney, you've been kind of on the streets, kind of here in our neck of the woods, hearing, how people are experiencing this. Who else did you run into this morning?
This morning, I was out at the gas station and I ran into Marcellus Bostak. Just a great name. Marcellus, I think he looked to be maybe in his 70s, and he was walking into the gas station looking to take care of his dad. And it's a pretty unprecedented ice storm here, but Marcellus brought us back to 1994.
It's cold, man. Windy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't never seen nothing like this since about 94 for the ice. Back in 94, had this ice storm.
Yeah.
Didn't have no lights for about 8 days. Yeah, but unfortunately, I got lights this time. And I got a 90-year-old uncle. He's out of power. He don't know when he's gonna get it back on.
Yeah.
So I'm on my way to check on him in a few minutes. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I got power. My power's out too, so I came into work. What are you doing to stay warm?
I'm home. I'm retired.
You got power?
Yeah.
Okay.
Power and heat. Power and heat. Yes, sir. Let me get in here and get his stuff, and so I can get back to the house.
Okay.
I gotta get coffee.
What are you getting for him?
Coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, buddy. You have a good one. Marcellus, like in his 70s or 80s, like he has heat, he has power, walking across the street to get a cup of coffee for his 94-year-old uncle. I mean, I was just like, man, that's the community showing up. That is, I don't know, that really touched me, and him thinking about 94 and saying, it was 8 days then before he had power, and I was like, yeah, it might be an 8 for us too.
Yeah, I hate to say that, but I remember, although I guess I was only 12, but the 94 ice storm is something people have been referencing often over the last couple of days. How does it compare to you if you were here back then? We'd love to hear from you on air. The number is 615-760-2000. We have had a few questions about Nashville Electric Service and what they're saying. The status of the power is. I think we got a call that didn't want to be on the air, perhaps. They're certainly saying a lot and trying to help people understand. They're getting questions like, "Hey, why does my neighbor have power but I don't?" Mm-hmm. Their explanation has been, well, we sort of try to restore power for the largest number of customers in one swing that we can.
I would say like a question that I have is like, what's the system? Like, where are they hitting first? Like, where are they? I mean, if somebody knew that, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, and it's it's certainly challenging. Catherine, did the mayor talk about kind of the difficulty some of the crews are dealing with? Just I think I heard trees falling still this morning.
Yeah,
Catherine, you on still? Well, Catherine Sweeney, we may not have you at this moment, but I know that the mayor this morning said that a continuing concern is that we're seeing trees falling even as crews are getting power restored. Then limbs and trees are falling on the lines again and knocking power back out after it's restored. So don't think that it's going to be on forever just because it comes back on. Let's take one more call, then we're going to get to a break, and we're going to end the hour kind of thanking our neighbors. So many neighborly moments in the last 24, 48 hours. If you've got a shout out to a neighbor, we'd love to hear it right now. 615-760-2000. Let's see. Let's go to Robert in Inglewood. You're on This Is Nashville. Go ahead.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, this isn't Robert in Inglewood. This is Robert in Thompson Station, I think.
There it is.
I may have gotten my notes mixed up. How are your animals out there in Thompson Station?
We're doing all right, man. It's been it's been a roller coaster, to be honest.
Well, and for listeners, Robert has quite the menagerie. I went out talked to him for a story several weeks ago, and emus, red foxes, goats, rabbits, 2 African porcupines that seem like they're getting along pretty well now, several raccoons. What else am I missing?
African servals.
There you go. Well, how are you keeping them warm?
So we actually brought the porcupines inside and built them a little enclosure in here before the storm started in anticipation, which worked out very well because a massive branch fell right into their enclosure and, kind of messed up some stuff. So Very glad we did that. But the serval is the only other African species we have that requires heat. So he has electricity running out there in his house.
Oh, you have power?
Yeah, we still have power.
Never lost power?
No, man. God's taking care of us. We've been very blessed.
Wow. Well, that's great to hear, and I know you put so much care in and time in on your animals there in Thompson Station, and appreciate the report. We're gonna take one more call, then we're gonna get back to the phones and kind of thanking the neighbors that have come through for us over the last 24, 48 hours. But let's take one more call from Garth in East Nashville. Garth, you're on This Is Nashville. Go ahead. All right, we may just go straight to break. We need to hear your neighbor stories. Justin, you got neighbors helping neighbors?
I got neighbors helping neighbors, and I also, when we come back, I want to tell you about my favorite piece of tape that I didn't get.
Oh no! Don't tell me it was a recorder problem.
It was a recorder problem.
A recorder
problem
problem
out there.
All right, we're gonna get that story and hear you thanking your neighbors for how they've come through for you in the last 24 hours. This is Nashville on Ice. Stay with us. I'm Blake Farmer, and this is Nashville. A lot of neighbors helping neighbors over the last 24 hours. In fact, I was out reporting a story for national public radio, and my street is very hairy at the moment. You have to walk under and over many things that feel unsafe. And I have a neighbor, Jack Lowry, who has an ATV. And you know what? You don't need an ATV very much. But I was so grateful for him coming by and said, hey, why don't you get in here and let me drive you through there so you one of these things don't fall on you. And I'm really great. I told him as he let me out, I said, I'm grateful for you as a neighbor, but maybe never more than today and this moment.
When you buy the ATV, and you get a day like today, you could justify that purchase.
There you go.
Oh, that man is living for it.
Well, and he went back and got our other neighbors who have a tree through their house. Took them up to some other neighbors.
Everywhere. He's going all over the place.
You know, he's gonna have to gas that thing up pretty soon, I'm sure. Hopefully, he can maybe help me get up the hill when I get home today. If I do, and I'm sure I'll get there. We want to hear your stories about neighbors helping neighbors. A big shout out. People have been shouting out the line crews who are braving the elements and, frankly, even the threat of more trees and ice falling on them. What do you have for us? We'd love to have you on the air. The number is 615-760-2000. Justin Barney, what have you got?
Well, I witnessed some neighbors helping neighbors. I went in to the gas station down the street, and I was kind of like expecting the people who work there to be like, I had to drive 20 minutes through this stuff, and I don't want to be here, and I got to work all day, and everybody else has off. But I talked to Abdullah Muhammad, and Abdullah he was a ray of sunshine. Want to hit that Abdullah tape?
Man, I feel good, man. To be honest, look at this beautiful weather, man. It's nice. We're lucky. We're lucky ones to have electricity, man. So we're grateful for that, to be honest with you. And then the customers all come and tell us that, man, we're the only one open out here yesterday. And we didn't expect it to be so busy, but thank God everybody's safe around here. And this has been nice. The community is coming together. Everybody's complaining about the electricity, but, everybody's going to each other's houses that has electricity, and everybody's kind of coping with it, to be honest with you. From what I've seen yesterday.
Yeah.
But towards Nolensville and all those other areas, man, it's bad.
Yeah. Do you have heat?
No, not at my house.
Not at your house?
No.
How was it coming in?
Honestly, yesterday was horrible. The day before, after it snowed in, it was nice. You can still drive.
It was.
But yesterday, man, it was horrible. Today's actually not as bad as yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday night was the worst.
Yeah.
Going home, man, it was crazy. It's better than the last 2 years. They try to cope with it because last year they wasn't ready. This year they're kind of a little bit ready.
That's Abdullah. And he makes a newsy point at the end there where he is like, the temperature is worse, the things are worse, but he was like, we were better prepared. And, I think that we bought the city bought some snow plows. Like after we had that big snow a couple of years ago, city invested in some snow plows. And I was like, our man's on top of it.
He's
here.
not wrong. Maybe he listens to WPLN, so he's in the know. We'd love to hear, Abdullah is a ray of sunshine. He's doing his good turn to this neighbor by just brightening the day. How are your neighbors helping out? The number is 615-760-2000. We'd love to get you on here as we wrap up this Is Nashville on Ice. Robert, apologies for trying to get to you earlier, and then who knows, maybe I hung up on you myself. But Robert in Inglewood, you're on This Is Nashville. Go ahead.
Can you hear me this time?
Loud and clear.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to follow up. I've only been able to listen in and out, so forgive me if I'm repeating.
Go ahead.
But those that were asking about getting weather information, I know most people know about NOAA weather radios, and I've had one for years, and it works with a battery, but it's currently not working. And I confirmed with the Nashville Weather Service that there are a few spots where your weather radios are not going to work, even with the batteries, and I've replaced them and all that. So that option is available for those that don't know about it. And I have had a tree, unfortunately, in my neighbor's yard that has gone 3 times since I've lived here and knocked the same direct line down to my house. And I was just going to confirm, you do have to call an electric company first before and get it repaired before NES can do anything.
Yeah.
And then another thing, NES used to have a list of those who had medical conditions requiring electricity, and they were kind of like put on a priority list. I don't know if they still have it. I used to be on it. In my case, it's not super serious, but some people it might be. So I'd be interested in learning if NES still has that somehow.
We'll have to look at that. But yeah, a priority list that NES knows that you need. Maybe you have it could even be something like a ventilator that you need at your house, and there'll be priority there. So, we'll check into that. A great question for our team to ask as we know it's going to be quite a few days for several people. So, Robert in Inglewood, really appreciate the call. Thanks for listening too. Let's take another call from Sheila in Green Hills. You're on This Is Nashville. Go ahead.
Hi, how you doing there?
We're doing A-okay.
That's a ray of sunshine.
Warm.
Well, we're maybe it's not the thing you're calling in about, but we're kind of shouting out the neighborliness that comes out when things are tough. What have you experienced?
Okay, well, I live in a guest house here in Green Hills, and the tree limbs started falling and shook the guest house.
Wow.
And my landlady said, come to my house. So I have been hunkered down with her. Her name is Melanie, and she's been so gracious, and we have been listening to the limbs falling and crashing. And we've been really super cold, but we've been like snuggled up with blankets, and she has 2 dogs, so that also helped. And we're actually both sitting in our cars, which are running right now, and so we have heat and we're charging our phones. So I just want to give a shout out to my landlady, neighbor, friend, Melanie.
Well, blurring the lines between all 3 of those relationships there, lady. I hope it makes a closer friend out of this. Sheila, thank you so much for sharing that. And I think in times like this, people say, hey, why would you not come and stay with me? Sure, we haven't had a sleepover before, but we can start now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to all my friends and family that have messaged me and said, "What's up?"
Yeah. No, it is nice that they're checking on you. I do wonder, Justin Barney, your family's all. I don't know if they're all in Milwaukee, but are they concerned? Are they like, hey, finally some ice down there?
I think at first they were like, these people in Nashville had not used to this, and they're like, I can see them being, upset, but they're like, you'll be fine. And then when I didn't have heat for 24 hours and we were, I'm plunging down to, in the low 50s, they were like, okay, it's time to think.
I got some sympathy from up north.
Yeah. And it has been great. A lot of my friends have reached out too. And I know some of my friends who do have power have taken in 4 or 5 people. And, it's been great to see them come together and people taking people in that, are without heat.
Yeah.
So, shout out.
We're probably going to call in a favor here pretty soon since the power is going to be out for a while. Let's take another call. Catherine in Nashville, you're on. This is Nashville. Go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Music Row, Edge Hill Village, Vanderbilt, Belmont community over here. We have such a lovely, compassionate, neighborly vibe, and it's really been on display the last 36 hours in particular. Power's been out. People are opening up their homes. We have, first responders trying to get in and out of the medical center. So I'm just really grateful to see how this community once again comes together and supports one another and takes care of business at the same time. Mm-hmm. And that also includes compassionate, considerate loving of our neighbors and friends. So I'm really grateful.
Well, Catherine, I appreciate that shout out for the Vanderbilt area there. If you've got a neighbor story you want to share on the air, or have questions unanswered, or just looking for a warm place to be, we'd love to hear from you on air. 615-760-2000. Are you, like many of our callers today, idling, outside the house, trying to charge up your devices so you can, stay connected. Well, we're right there with you. Love to hear about your experience. 615-760-2000. Justin Barney, you said you would tell us about the tape that got away.
Tape that got away. So it was the first guy that I talked to. I'm walking to the police precinct, and police precinct, it's by 2 gas stations, and I saw this guy walking across the street at me, and so I got my recorder out of my bag. I got the first second. I don't know what else happened to it, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And he was coming back from the grocery store, and I could see he had 2 40s in his bag, and that's all that he had. And I was like, he's like, "Hey, I'm doing all right." He's like, "I got heat." And I was like, "What's your plan for the day, man?" He's like, "Man, my only plan for the day is to drink these 40s and go to bed." And I was like, "Man, my God." He was like, "I'm just drinking beers and going to bed." I was like, that was the day for him. And I saw some other people doing the same thing.
It may be not the worst plan for a day like this. If you want to shout out a neighbor who has come through for you in this time, or if you want to raise a hand and say, "Hey, could use some help over here," the number's 615-760-2000. So Justin Barney, over the next few days, we are looking at some cold temperatures.
Yeah.
And we definitely have a ways to go without power. What kind of questions are you going to be asking?
Well, I thought that we should look into the future a bit here and take a look at the forecast, because I think that we heard that it's going to be warming up a bit, which might cause some things to melt and then refreeze up. I mean, I think the big question on many people's minds is, when am I going to get power?
Yeah.
How am I going to get power? When,
It is a question that utilities around Middle Tennessee are getting all the time. This from Catherine Sweeney, who's been kind of covering the updates from public officials. They do say dangerous travel conditions and power outages are going to linger. Below freezing temperatures are going to keep ice and snow impacts on the road pretty much all week, which no surprise there. We've got prolonged impacts expected through the cold temperatures. Single-digit lows and wind chill values below zero will be life-threatening to those without power or adequate warmth. Freezing fog will be possible at times this week. Highest chance on Wednesday morning. So Wednesday morning. And then let's talk about these warming centers, because, Justin, as we said earlier in the hour, you went to one of the kind of flash warming centers and found no one. But where can people go if they need a warm place to be as their place that they live gets colder and colder?
Right. And I went this morning to the North Police Precinct, and several of the police precincts are open. And I think it's just that people don't know right now. I mean, we got the email from Metro. It's unprecedented. It's not like, oh, this is a thing that they're known to do. This is something that they are not normally doing. And so they've opened all fire departments. You can go to all the fire departments in town and stay warm. A couple of the police precincts, not the police precinct in Central or East, but the rest. And then the community centers. And the community centers have cots. If you need a place to sleep, Southeast Regional Community Center has cots, is open 24/7. The Madison Community Center, if you're up there, they have cots. They're warm. And the fairgrounds. The fairgrounds, the biggest one, they have Red Cross members there, and they have cots to stay. There's 100 other warming centers throughout the state. Those are the ones in Nashville. And if you need more direction and open to the internet, we've got it all on WPLN.org too.
And a reminder that pets can go to the warming centers as well, because we know a lot of people have this concern about, what do I do with the pet? I guess our first caller of the day with his fish, that's going to be tricky. But pets can come.
What's your plan?
What to do?
Yeah, your house is going. I saw the thermometer. You're
very cold.
You're entering the
very
40s.
Cold. It was 46 when I got up this morning. And how did I find that out? My wife brilliantly used a meat thermometer, because, of course, our thermostat doesn't tell us the temperature anymore, because we got no power. It's going to be a while. We have. All right, our road has a ton of trees all over the place. We couldn't drive out of there if we wanted to. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that'll get cleared up in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the point right now where it's like you're at the point of like we've waited it out. Now It's like you have to form a plan.
Yes, well, I'm just hoping. I'd love to when I go home this afternoon for there to have been some advancement on trees. Don't know that that'll happen, but maybe tomorrow. And then we have some friends who I think would put us up in a pinch. So we'll call in that favor. And but I feel like there's so much work to do at people's houses. Trees that are down. You've got to keep the faucets dripping because and check on that to make sure we don't have any freezing situations. So do I have a plan? Is that what you asked, Justin Barney?
Yeah.
No plan. No plan. My plan is to wrap up this show,
through it.
Keep working, and then figure out what's next. And you'll be the first to know. How about that?
Great.
Thank you so much for listening to a special hour where we try to figure out what we've just been through and what's still left to come. Thanks for tuning in this hour. This is Nashville's a production of Nashville Public Radio. Today's episode was produced basically by WPLN, by everybody. Thanks to Mary Mancini, Josh Deepin, Justin Barney, Liv Lombardi, Nina Cardona on the board, Catherine Sweeney, and Caroline Eggers reporting. And thank you for your calls. The masterminds behind that theme music are LaRange and Namir Blade. Conversation doesn't have to end right here. You comment, tell us what you want to hear on the show by leaving us a message at 615-751-2500. You can also find us on Instagram. Instagram is also going to be a pretty good place to find updates from the WPLN newsroom today and the rest of the week as we learn more and as we hear more and figure out how we're going to get through this week in Middle Tennessee. This is Nashville. I'm Blake Farmer. Go in peace.